All right, Griz Nation, we are back. This is Fight on Montana podcast. So we are here to talk some football. But before we get into football in this awesome game that we're going to talk to, let's get into some of the Griz update stuff that is happening around that we need to get to before we get into football. So if you are not watching us, hopefully you're watching the women's basketball team play Gonzaga as we speak.
Yeah.
It's in Dahlberg Arena. So they last time I checked, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Luke, they were 28-32 at halftime.
Yep, that's the score I saw too, and it should be just about out of the half, I would think.
So that's the Gonzaga is usually a pretty good basketball team as well.
Mhm.
So after that, they go to Washington. They play Washington State at Dahlberg Arena too. So those are some really good basketball games that you can go see with some pretty good competition. So definitely go see them. That would be on November 14th. That's next Tuesday, not this coming Tuesday. But from all accounts, what I've heard, they're going to have a really good team this year.
That's what I've heard too. I've heard that our girls basketball team should be pretty dang legit this year.
Yeah. For the men, they play tomorrow. They play Northwest Indian College at 7 p.m. So that one will be on ESPN Plus as well. So definitely go check them out. If you're in Missoula, go check them out. If not, watch them on ESPN Plus. They play this Friday in Eugene, Oregon against Oregon at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. It will not be on the ESPN Plus app. It's going to be on the Pac-12 network. So if you guys are looking for that, if you guys have the Pac-12 network, give us a jingle because I don't get the Pac-12 network. So totally message us and see how they're doing and see what you guys think. Because I love basketball. So talk some basketball with us.
I got mad at Dish and don't have Pac-12 network anymore. So. And who knows if anybody will after next year, unless they have the Pac-2 network. So.
The Pac-2, yeah, you never know. Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. Volleyball, they are still in their gamut of their season, guys. They've had a couple wins and a loss here. They played Northern Arizona last week, a 3-1 win, and then just had a heartbreaker against Northern Colorado. Where they were up 2-1 and they lost 3-2 on Saturday. But this week they're on the road. They're playing Weber State Thursday at 6 p.m. You can get it on ESPN Plus. And then they go to Pocatello on November 11th, Saturday at noon, and that's on ESPN Plus as well. So they're got what? Whoa, they've got 3 games. 1, 2, 3, if I can count. 4 games. 4 games left until the Big Sky tournament. And something that's weird with them, I think they only take like the top 8, top 6.
I'm gonna say it's 8 because I thought I was watching them this weekend and they said that we're close.
Yeah,
like a few more wins, but we're right on that bubble of making the tournament. So
yeah,
boy, so hopefully they could.
Well, and this team is a really good team. I just think that they've had some ups and downs and haven't really hit their stride. But they're a talented team and they have those momentum swings. Volleyball is so crazy on momentum, where you get a couple points and then it's gone. Yeah. So hopefully you guys can watch them, support them, and definitely hopefully we can get into the Big Sky Conference tournament. So
yeah.
But what we're going to talk about today, guys, is we're going to
you missed. What about soccer? I mean, it sucks.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot about soccer.
Yeah,
it is, and I yeah, it was heartbreaking.
I know you want to forget about it because it was heartbreaking. I mean,
oh man,
it's like our girls outplayed them.
Oh yeah,
the whole game, and it was just one of those freaky games you just can't pull out. So,
well, and it's crazy. Ashley Dvorak, they only allow eight total goals in the whole year. They let 1 go this game. They lose 1-0. They had so many good chances where it just didn't go in. And you feel bad because by far, and not to, poo-poo on Idaho, but by far, like if you put that on a neutral field, like you can't say that, taking your number 1 team and putting them in high altitude where the home team has an advantage isn't an advantage, especially in Flagstaff.
Yeah. Well, I heard that we bounced like 4 or 5 off the crossbar. I mean, it was just one of those. It's one of those nights that, like it reminds me of hockey games. You see that in hockey games too, where it's just like nothing goes your way. And it's like you're trying everything and you just can't get it to go. So it's just unfortunate because they had such an awesome season.
They did.
And I mean, if anything, that's just going to motivate Coach Chris and that team even more because we got some young, talented players, and I can't wait to see what they do next year.
Yeah, and then from all accounts, they've got some really good recruits coming in, and so it's going to be interesting to see who they lose. They lose a big contingent of seniors, and so that's going to have to really kind of get some leadership in that team as well, and kind of fill in what we're losing. But I love that program. Yeah. They're doing it the right way. They've got good people running it. There's no doubt in my mind that we'll reach the pinnacle of what we want to get to, just because they're doing such a great job. So
absolutely.
But yeah, I totally forgot about that, and I was like, oh, do I have to go into this one?
I know. I still wanted to give them props because they just had such a killer season, and I mean, sometimes it doesn't go your way, but I mean, we're all still real high on that team.
Exactly.
And can't wait to see what they do next year.
Exactly. Well, 34-7.
I know. What did I? And you noticed you called me out on it. I changed my score this weekend because I was like, I felt, and I was way wrong. I was like, man, earlier this week I said 31-24. I was like, I'm giving Sac way too many points, and I was still way the heck off. 7 points. That's it.
I'm glad you did 24 just because I won. So, so we're tied up going into these last 2 games. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we had to have our predictions with a friendly bet. Going into it, we're 4-4 with a wipeout game of the Ferris State game in these next 2 weeks. So, it'll be interesting to see. It might come down to the last game, and that's going to be a tough one to call.
Yeah. Well, we got to focus on Portland State first. So, but you're right. It might come down to that game. We'll see.
Exactly. But yeah, offensively, what'd you think, man? I wasn't expecting some of the things that happened in that game, and it was a wild game. It was a ruckus game where emotions were. The players knew how important that game was. And
I think on both sides. And I mean, Sac was there was just such frustration. You could feel it everywhere. And our team was our team plays angry, like offense, defense, special teams. I mean, we are punishing teams and stuff. Again, I'm going back to the NAU game. Since then, it's like they're just pissed and they're not going to let anybody have it. I mean, they go out there and just dominate, and we're physically dominating teams and taking the football out of teams. I mean, towards the end of the game, Sac didn't want to be there anymore. They were done. They were like, can we go start the bus and go home? They kept showing close-ups of their quarterback, and he did not look like he wanted to be there anymore. His face said, I'm done playing this game. Get me out of here and back to California. Cold. I'm hurt. I'm sick of playing the Montana Grizzlies.
Well, by halftime, I heard from a couple different people that were at the game that they were fighting with each other, going down the tunnel. They were fighting with each other.
I heard the same thing that the fans were hearing them just talk crap to each other, and just they were all fighting and stuff. I mean, even after the game was over, Coach Thompson was trying to get them all to come out and shake hands, and half the team walked away.
That's crazy. That's not good.
I feel bad for Andy. He's got his hands full because that team's there's some internal stuff there that they're not, that they need to fix, and it's not a good thing. But I mean, I'm going to beat the hell out of them because they deserved it. And finally, the balls weren't bouncing their way and stuff. And even when it felt like, oh my gosh, the wind's pushing the ball to the 1 yard line. What do? Set a damn record.
My wife was like, "Can they do that?" I'm like, "Well, they're not touching the ball. It's actually the wind.
It's legal." But I mean,
they think they're doing that, but they're really not. It's the wind.
And then Clifton throws the ball to White, and they set this record. And the cool thing is that the previous record was set by Brian Ayotte and Jimmy Ferris. And one of the coolest things I thought is Jimmy Ferris got online and congratulated both of them. Jimmy's a great guy. Big fan of Jimmy, friend of mine. And he's just the way he congratulated him and passed the torch. It's like records like that are meant to be broken. And how cool was that on Saturday?
That was awesome. I saw that too, and I totally liked it. So we need to have Jimmy on. That would be awesome to have him on.
Man. Jimmy's awesome. I mean, he does motivational speaking and stuff. He'll have us running through walls by the end of the freaking pod.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
Awesome. Well, first drive, I was kind of worried.
I think a lot of people were, because I think people were going, "Oh crap, here we go, we're in trouble." And I'm a very positive person, glass half full. I was like, come on, lots of time, have faith. We're good.
Yep.
So,
that first drive, I was like, oh man, I just saw our line getting kind of pushed. And one thing is McDowell was just really holding on to the ball a little too long. Sorry, my voice, but I was getting a little worried with that. But the momentum swung in our favor, and really we played our lights out. The one thing that I think that kind of like blew my mind was the unsportsmanlike penalties for the whole teams.
Like
both sides. I've never seen that. And Marty was the same way. He was. I've never seen that.
Maybe remembers it one time, or maybe that was no, it wasn't Marty saying that. So I listened to to Riley afterwards.
Okay.
And, he said that they asked, because they got the replay officials next to him, asked them if they'd ever seen it, because him and Greg hadn't. And the replay guy said that he only knows of one other time of that happening.
Yeah.
And my feeling is that the refs were afraid it was going to get out of hand because there was a lot of emotions. And so that was their solve. Like, okay, everybody gets a personal foul.
You get a foul. You get a foul.
Exactly. It was like, whoa. And so with that, I think that people forgot. And so Sac State's number 8, their top receiver that got that out of bounds catch on us the year before. I mean, I couldn't believe he takes his helmet off. I don't know if the time was out, because if the time's over, you can take it off. But then he spikes it into the ground. And that wasn't the penalty. It's the fact he took it off. You take your helmet off, and you're penalized. Boom, he's done for the game.
Well, it's 3 seconds left, and I don't know why. I think he thinks it's 0-0, going in. But like this Chance, we love your comment. He says that the Griz destroyed Sacramento after Sacramento's touchdown, and he's got a point there. After tied it up 7-7, nothing happened for him, and they couldn't get.
It snowballed after there, and it almost feels like our team, when they taste a little blood in the water, they just go for it. It's the old analogy: step on their throat and don't let them back up, and that's what we did. By that third quarter, they didn't want to be there at all.
No,
I mean,
no.
And we're trying to give people backups and stuff time, and it was great. It was great to see some of our guys in there and stuff.
Yeah,
getting that, and we got Childs coming in, and he's running. He's fresh. So he's just
10 yards at a get.
He's trucking
10 yards a carry,
and their defense didn't want to be there anymore either. So he's just, I was like, geez, we could do it. By then, you can do whatever you want. They're just going, when's the game over, and when can I get back on that bus?
One of the things I was really, really excited to see is we finally got Fonts the ball in stride, where he could show what he could do, because we've been hearing for a couple of years now how great of an athlete and stuff he is, and he just exploded with some of the things that he did on the field this week. Really, really excited for that, and then just McDowell being able to come over the how he's playing for that first couple of drives, and kind of not holding onto the ball too long, and then the way that he was throwing it was great to see, because the week before we kind of saw him when Ayotte was put in. You would see his kind of confidence and like how he played kind of went down. And then this week he kind of, I don't know if he took it at heart or whatnot, but he totally rose to the occasion, which is awesome to see. And totally he gets the credit for that, because, he could have just said, hey, I'm done.
Yeah.
But, totally showed some grit.
He totally rose to the occasion. I was, last week we were talking about Ayotte, and I still think Ayotte's our future, and he's great.
I think so too.
But I was pleased with the coaching staff that they left Clifton out there. He was balling. He was having a game. Just like when someone's playing like that, don't get in their way. Just let him go. He had one mistake where I don't know where he was throwing that ball. He threw that pick. It was like, I don't know.
There's no one there. Is this
weird or what? I mean, the weather was weird, so it was just like, well, that was weird.
Yeah.
But the rest of the game, I mean, he was making the right reads, throwing the ball well, and then between his running, Osmo, Gilman, Childs at the end. I mean, Osmo is just killing guys out there. There's like his knees are pumping, and he's just trucking guys, and they're falling on their backs. Offensive line are putting guys down on the ground. I mean, it was there. You could tell, like we talked about revenge game.
Oh,
our guys don't like them, and they're like, all right, no, we're not even going to let it come down to the refs again or an overtime. We're going to take care of business early and often and make sure that we get out of this where we want to be. Another one I want to give a sweet shout out for. This just came up on Twitter. I didn't know this. Trajan Cotton got a game ball after the game.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they talked about, he brought it up during the press conference today, if anybody saw it.
I don't think he brought it up. Somebody commented, how do you think? And I love that he spoke up and he didn't get the eye from Houck. Like, he's like, what do you mean? No one caught a ball. Like, I love the fact that he was able to say that.
And Bobby broke down a little bit and smiled. And was like, we're going to talk about that. Because, he had everybody throwing at him, and he was the no-fly zone. No one completed a pass in his area, and they were going after him. You could tell that they must have saw him on film and thought, we'll go after this guy. So congratulations to Trajan Cotton for getting the game ball and, not letting anybody throw. So after the game, I follow him on Instagram. He live feeds the locker room.
Wow.
Everybody, it might be down now, but everybody was dancing and stuff. And it was a live feed afterwards. And the boys were having a good time like they should and enjoying the win. Cause as we say, winning's hard and enjoy it. So that was cool.
So I got to give props. Justin Boyer was an awesome game, made the 1,200-mile round trip from the east side that much better. Back in 2 weeks to take my place in the NEZ. What?
North end zone, baby.
Oh, okay. I was like, am I like reading this right? I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah, the North end zone. That's where all the crazies are. Back when I played, that's what we called the North end zone crazies. They are. They're a bunch of crazy animals up there, and they're so loud. Awesome.
That's awesome. So Justin, that's awesome, man. But yeah, one of the things that I kind of saw too is just how Broussard, their safety, was no more because he got targeting. Gibson, their one wide receiver, got it.
that rejected. I was surprised that I didn't think it was. I don't know. It was so close. I didn't think they were going to call it. I thought they were going to wave it off, and then they did. I mean, I hate seeing guys get ejected for things like that when they're just playing hard. The helmet throw, kick him out.
Oh,
he's being a little whiny baby. But
targeting was barely anything. But man, and we're talking about the offense. But Eli Gilman, 16 carries, 113 yards, 1 touchdown. If he's on the Jerry Rice watch, I think you can probably give him the award for best freshman. That's crazy that he only had 16 attempts, and I think he gets overlooked in this game because you've got Osmo that was just trucking people.
Yeah, he was.
And you've got McDowell that had the long 42-yarder. Mm-hmm. And then you've got Childs that basically ran over everybody too.
Right.
And you look at their averages, the lowest was Xavier Harris, and he got 1 carry for 3 yards. Everybody else is averaging over 5 yards a carry.
Yeah. Just
so
blowing through them. I mean,
blowing through.
Yeah, and then I think some of that gets over because all the receivers played well too. I mean, there was so much going on. But yeah, he's I mean, I saw some other people tweeting out there this weekend that, Mr. Rice, get ready to see get ready to see him where in Frisco this year, because that's what the awards are.
Yeah.
So, and that's the cool thing. Like, I hope he wins it too, because Jerry Rice comes and gives the award out because it's his award. He's actually there handing it out. So, I mean, how cool would that be for Eli to get that? So, I mean, we got a lot of football left, but man, if he just keeps doing what he's doing, it's hard. It's hard to find anybody else that's a freshman doing that. So,
well, no, and they can always give it to somebody else, but then you can kind of say, well, that's just slide on the Griz, because that some people out there will do that. So,
yeah.
But one thing that I was kind of worried about is that Fulcher too, and that first drive, I was like, oh crap, he's back. He's a force, and they kind of got away from him after that drive, and I don't know why.
Well, I didn't think he was going to play, because he's been
either
banged up, and I think our coaching staff thought the same thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he was looking good, and I think really what it was is, I think some of our defenders were out of position, and we just made some adjustments, tightened it up, and that's the thing that seems different this year a lot too, is we're making the adjustments that need to happen, not waiting until half. We're making them in game quickly, so that we can stop, the bleeding, if you will, and flip it around, because they scored quick and it was like, oh boy, and then they missed the field goal and you're like, okay, well, at least they missed that, and it's like, well, hang on a second, and we're going to talk about it later because there's a question about this, but there's a point in the game where it's like, oh boy, it's I was like, this is our game now. So,
well, and you said it earlier too, is some of the things that they're doing now, the play calling. Last year, they were gung-ho about, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to run this. Coaching staff is willing to change some things right when it happens.
Yep.
Our defense is, and I don't, and I want to say this nicely, and I don't want it to come out bad, but I don't think that we're like the stopping of rushing attempts until we play, the kiddies and we can stop them. I don't think I think our numbers are great, and I think we're top 10. Are we top 3?
Right now, I think our numbers say we're number 1 rush defense.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the thing that I noticed, is the adjustments. We're making adjustments and stopping the run, and I feel like we're stopping the run a lot better than we did last year.
And then that's what I was trying to comment is that we're making the adjustments. Mm-hmm. I remember after we played the kiddies last year, Tommy Touchdown was like, well, and he was very nice about it. He was just like, well, we just know they weren't gap sound. And I feel like we've made the adjustments where we're playing our defense, but we're able to stop the rushing attacks of other people, and not leave holes. And if we do, we shorten them up real quick, which I think that's one of the things that has turned this season around so fast, is that we're able to change things. And I think, the Bradford and Coach Tim Howe, that they get this, right? That they have put the time in. It's amazing to see the switch in 4 weeks.
Oh yeah. Well, between our run and even our pass defense too, some of those zones we're running, we're adjusting where the linebackers are and stuff so that we can tighten those zones up. And it's been effective against the pass too. I mean, it's just the things they're doing, last year we had all these All-Americans and stuff. Now we've just got a bunch of really good players that are just doing their jobs right.
Yeah.
And doing what's expected of them. And these guys love playing with each other. One of the cool picks after the game, when they were juniors about to dump the water on Coach Howe, if you zoom into Junior's face, he is smiling from ear to ear. He's so excited to dump water all over his coach, who just became the winningest coach ever in Big Sky conference history, with only 35 losses, mind you.
That's crazy.
Jerome Sowers, who, former Griz coach as well through the 95 championship, had the record, but he had a whole 100 and some losses to go with it.
Yeah.
Or Houck doesn't have very many. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah.
What a feat. So, I mean, congratulations. I think we're going to get there eventually, but congratulations to Coach Houck,
exactly.
too. I guess where I was going with that is that our whole team they love each other. They play for each other. They're having so much fun out there. They just look like they're having a blast playing football. And that's what it should be. Football should be fun. It's a fun sport to play, and they're doing it.
Well, and, we gave credit to the coaches. But, I look back at what was different, and I'm not throwing other players on the bus, but what was different than last year is I think the leadership is a little bit better. I think.
Yeah.
I think that the senior class, I think they stood up and said, hey, we're not going out this way.
Yeah.
And I think that the senior class really should take some credit for this, because it could have got worse. It could have got a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
After the NAU game.
After the NAU game, they had a choice.
Yeah.
And obviously they decided, all right, that's not us.
Yep.
Let's all get together and we're gonna do it this other way. And I like you just said, I commend the senior class.
Yeah.
Because I think the coaches probably put it to them, hey, this is your team.
Yep.
How do you guys want to go? Do you want to just fade off into the, that's easy. The easy way is out. Let's just lose, and we'll keep losing. Well, they didn't. They went, you know what? There's only one thing left to do, and that's win the whole damn thing. And so that's what their goal is now, and they're well on their way right now.
Yeah.
We are well on our way. Next up, Portland State.
Well, and it was weird how Sac State played. That they switched their offense. They were searching for something, right?
Mm-hmm.
First couple possessions they were run heavy, right? Yep. And then they tried to spread it out.
And then put that little freshman quarterback in, and when they I was going, oh yeah, that's exactly what we wanted to see, because now you're one dimensional.
Yeah, and then they started throwing quick outs, right? They get out, and that's what some of these other teams were doing us in the beginning of the year, is get the ball out of the quarterback's hand real fast so they can't get to your quarterback. And then they just started imploding, and you can kind of see it.
Start fighting with each other too.
Oh man.
I mean, you see that on the sideline.
Yeah.
I mean, as the opposing team, you're going, oh yeah, we got them.
Yeah.
They're done.
Yep.
They're done. We're just, we can do whatever we want now.
Yep. And the one thing that we only got one sack, right? But the tail of the tape really relies on like the possession, right? 35 minutes we had the ball to their 24 minutes.
Yeah, we Idaho'd the heck out of them.
Yeah, right. And we got a whole heck of this is probably our largest number of yards in a game for a while now.
I didn't see, what did we end up with yards? Totally
547 yards.
Dang. Yeah.
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 72 plays. They had 69 plays. So we only had 3 more plays than them, but it was more than double them.
When you have one play that goes for 97 yards,
that's true.
Yeah, you don't need a bunch of plays, because that was exactly. That was going to be a long, sustained drive, and it's like, okay, QB sneak it to push it out, a little bit, which I love to see this doing that with McDonald 6'4", 215. It's like, yeah, let him push the pile. Let those the Hogs get up there and push too, and then, man, just. That the route that he ran, and I mean the help with Junior too pulling him off was just awesome, and then high stepping to get away from him, and then just there you go. I think someone posted it and they had the wrong name on there on the internet, but I think he hit 19.7 miles per hour.
Oh wow,
he was running that. So one of those stat things posted it, but they had the wrong name on our receiver, not White.
Oh, okay.
Had the wrong team and everything. It was just
really?
More, yeah.
Oh,
it was a little bulletin board material. That was all I got to say. So
yeah. And the awesome. Third down conversion, 4 of 16 for Sac, 6 of 14 for us. That's been something that's been one of the keys that the switch around too, is we've gotten off on third down. And even though they were 2 of 3 on fourth down, we've been switching the chains, right? Switching the chains. So we're on offense, we're able to call a couple different things, but on the defensive side, we're making it hard for them. Yeah. And so we're doing a couple different things that we weren't doing in the beginning of the year as well. So can't say enough about this. I'm just so glad that we got that revenge.
Oh yeah.
That monkey off our back.
We're on the revenge tour. I mean, we started with beating Idaho. Now we take down Sac. It's and there's just like this weekend we got Portland State, and there's no way Bobby wants to lose to his son, or and then we got Cooper on the team, so he's gonna have him fired up. I don't want to lose to my dad, so that's exciting too. And one other thing I wanted to point out, and so have you noticed the touchdown dance that Clifton and AJ Forbes do?
Oh, it's amazing.
So they're slapping hands. It's like my wife and daughter absolutely love it. It
reminds
me of something from Street Fighter. It's like
it does.
It's like Hadouken, and they're like firing.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Clifton reposted it today on Twitter, and I mean, it is my favorite dance, like celebration that I've seen, and I love that Bobby's letting them do it because a few years ago, Sammy when he'd get first downs, he'd step and throw the first down marker. Well, then he got told by the staff, "Don't do that. We don't do that." Which I was just like, man, come on, let him do that.
They always do it now, though. They always go like this.
I think they've kind of went, you know what? They're having fun. Let's let these guys. Football's supposed to be fun.
Exactly.
And by doing that, when you're having fun playing football, things just start
better.
They just start going right for you. The guys play better and stuff.
Yep.
And that's why another thing I like is Bobby's not too. He doesn't really mind if you get a personal foul here or there, because you're playing hard. I'd be the same way if I was coaching. It's like, that's a tough play, and you're driving someone to the ground. Like when Walker got tossed, he drove him to the ground, and then he went for a little bit more. And you can't do that, but it's hard to say, don't be aggressive, because this team is super aggressive. They're all playing that way, and that's what we want to keep doing. Because not to skip ahead, but we want to beat the Cats. We got to play aggressive like that.
Yep, we got to outbeat them on what they do. So
exactly.
And there's a couple questions during the press conference as well. One, Frank Gogola said, are you going to have Walker this next coming game, because is he going to have to sit out? So I kind of, and Luke as well, we kind of went searching. I asked Sam Herder, and you saw a 2020 rule, right?
Yeah, I found the rule book from 2020 that said that it's different from what the targeting rule is. Yeah. And Bobby, I mean, he kind of jumped on it today, but mentioned it too, that he's available. But yeah, they treat that rule, an unsportsmanlike conduct, different
than a targeting.
They treat a targeting. Yeah. Targeting is ejectable, and sportsmanlike conduct, it isn't. So Walker will be back. And then I think some people were questioning, was that Cotton or I think Walker, he had that late hit out of bounds. Well, that wasn't an unsportsmanlike. That's not why he didn't get tossed.
It was a personal foul.
Personal foul, which is different. And some people were confused by that. They're like, hey, shouldn't he be? No. It's so when both teams got him, those were unsportsmanlike. So you can't get another unsportsmanlike. Yeah. Personal foul is different. It's a bang bang football.
Yeah. Player. Well, unsportsmanlike is after the play has gone.
After the play, it's talking crap, or like the guy threw his helmet, or if you hit someone extra out of bounds or something. I mean, what Walker looked like he was, going for the top rope thing, and on the guy on the ground. So things like that it's more of a judgment call, but that's why. So just for some clarity, because I think there's been a lot of questions on how that worked, because again, that just doesn't happen where they give the whole team unsportsmanlike.
That was crazy. I was expecting numbers hey, number 8, number whatever. I wasn't expecting the whole team. Even my wife was like, what? I'm like, what?
The whole team? The whole team? Yeah, the whole team.
Both teams?
So even poor Chris Brown's out there calling plays, for the offense. Yep, you just got one. And
you get one, and you get one.
Whoever's on the team gets one. It's just it was wild. I'd be interested to know if there. I mean, I really don't think it's ever happened, but like I said, that one ref said that he thought it did or something. So
I've never seen it in my whole life. But yeah, I'm not going to say that I'm perfect, but oh my goodness gracious, I understand why they did it. To get kind of just people a little settled down and kind of get control of the game. And I understand why they did it. It's just, I think it's crazy.
It felt like their hands were tied and they just had to, because of the bench clearing from Sac State. And I think they were like, oh God, we could lose this game. Yeah. Lose control. Yeah. If it was a hockey game, they would have lost control, and there'd been fights everywhere.
That's hockey. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, do you have anything last thoughts on Sac State?
Just, it was really, we keep talking about the Griz playing a full game, and this is the closest they've came to playing
by far
a full game like that. The first drives and stuff, it felt like we were getting getting situated and making adjustments, but that was really close to just a full game that Griz played. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say pretty close. There's a couple things that we could probably change up a little bit. But yeah, by far the best game that we've played so far. Idaho, we played lights out in that first half, and then that second half kind of we're holding on for dear life. But yeah, it was good to see. And the one thing that's awesome is, unlike last year, I think we kind of peaked in the non-conference.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the Big Sky. This year, it seems like each and every week we're getting a little bit better and taking those steps and getting better, which is great to see. And knock on wood, we're healthy, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully that you hope going into this next game against Portland State, you win and then you stay healthy.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing, like in the years past, it felt like with our quarterback situation, like, if he goes down, we're in trouble. I don't feel that way right now.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's been next man up all over the place. Like we didn't have Gradney this weekend and our back stepped up.
Oh, yeah.
McGinnis has been out because of some health issues is what it is. He's not hurt. He's just had some health issues. So but hopefully he'll be back next week and stuff. But our other guys are all stepping up and doing a great job against great teams like number 7 Sac State.
Yeah.
We piss pounded them. I mean, normally a team like that, you're not going, oh, that's number 7 in the country. You're thinking that's some, non-ranked team. And we, showed out. So that was
and to get in their heads so bad that they're fighting against themselves, that says a lot.
Yeah.
Because this team was coming in a formidable opponent, even though you kind of look at their schedule and you can say they've played a couple people. They've played Idaho, they've played Montana, but the rest of their conference it hasn't been great.
Right. They beat Stanford, which that's
something.
Stanford's not great, but still it's an FBS team. So
it is. But the only thing I'm. So that's okay, and they have a little extra oomph to get that because it's their old coach. But
right.
Like this whole Idaho thing with Nevada, like Nevada's a horrible FBS team.
Terrible.
Like that's like
they would be up the bottom half of the Big Sky this
exactly.
Year. Awful.
The top 4 of the Big Sky, top 5 would beat Nevada.
Eastern would beat them.
Eastern would definitely beat them.
Yeah.
It would be a high scoring game, but they would beat them.
Yeah, it's well, and like we're talking about that. Heck, even that Versus app, the simulator, had us losing last week.
Yeah,
they had us losing, which was a weird score, 24-23. But you know, so it's like this team's surprising everybody. And you were saying we're playing our best ball in November. Well, that's what Bobby Houck coached teams did back in the 2000s.
Yep.
It was like they'd start gaining and gaining. And I've heard this team being compared a lot to the 2008 team because they lost early and then just kept rolling and building. And then, they had talent, but that was back before, Mariani was an All-American. Chase Brown was an All-American. But you had all these guys that were just playing as a team and out there to win for each other. And that's what we're seeing right now is these guys are out winning for each other.
A lot of good talent. And they just develop that talent too. So, but yeah, well, let's get to Portland State. Portland State, it is I don't know if it's just my flashbacks when they beat us at home that one year. I believe in 18. Off of a field goal. Or just the way that I've watched some tape on Portland State. To give you guys a background, they played Oregon this year and they got shellacked 7-81. Went to Wyoming, played decently there. They lost 17-31.
Mm-hmm.
And then played North American College 91-0.
Oh, I thought that was a high school team.
Was it a high school team?
That's what it felt like.
It's like a JUCO team, I think.
I remember seeing that score that weekend and jumping on there.
Yeah.
And I mean, to credit Portland State, they had every backup to the backup and they still couldn't stop them. So, it's
ridiculous.
That's a lot of points.
So then they go to Cal Poly. They beat Wallop on Cal Poly 59-21. They lose to Montana State 22-38, which that's a pretty good score at Montana State.
Sure.
And then they beat NAU 45-21. They lose to Idaho State 24-38. They beat Eastern Washington 47-35. And then last week they lose to UC Davis 23-37. So they're not consistent.
Oh, they're this kind of Jekyll and Hyde team is what it feels like.
Yeah, but you don't know what you're going to get. And so if we get a good Portland State team, this could be interesting.
Yeah, and they like to run the ball and run some more. Against that NAU, they had, I think it was in the third quarter, 350 yards rushing already. I mean, they're putting up the numbers. I mean, they just, especially on the run game, they like to run the quarterback, and then I can't remember the running back's name, but they just
Joby Mallory.
Yeah. So they just love to run the damn ball, and they'll run lots of different I'm trying to counter
run
plays.
Options.
Run options. They're pulling guards and stuff. And so again, on defense, it's doing your assignment, not getting confused, and just doing your job. So if we can make them one dimensional, like if we can stop their run and stuff them, they don't want to throw the ball, and that's really going to make them one-dimensional too. Or you get up on them, and then they have to try to catch up too. So that's going to be keys.
That's what I saw too. Is the Big Sky? They're number 2 in scoring offense, and the Big Sky number 2 rushing behind Montana State. They're number 11 in passing. So like to your point, Luke, they don't like to pass the ball. They have some good wide receivers that are athletic enough where I think they probably could. Their defense is as I hit my hand. They're middle of the Big Sky, number 11 in scoring defense, number 8 in rushing, number 7 in passing. And so I don't think our offense is going to have a hard time getting going. It's just what Portland State team comes.
Yeah, which Portland State? I mean,
fifth in the nation in rushing.
Yeah, it's they run the ball a lot, but they've been playing crappy teams. When they're when they play those crappy teams, they really run it up and get the stats way up there.
Yep.
I mean, partially, I think Barney's playing for his job a little bit because he's had a few down seasons and stuff. But I mean, at the same time, who wants to?
Well, he does so much with so little, and
he does. I mean, so like when Portland State recruits, they don't take you to the recruits to the stadium because they don't know. They play in that baseball field. So what they do is they take them to their weight room, and I hear their weight room's awesome. Like it's one of the best weight rooms. I mean, other than ours, I think it's like one of the better weight rooms they have out there. So that's what they like to show off is the weight room there. But I mean, they're going to be ready because Bobby and Barney are friends. And then we got Robbie there, and Robbie's
kid here,
Griz this year, for this game, and he knows our stuff.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure the coaches this week are having to change some play calls and some signals and stuff. They talk about the signal stealing from Michigan. You've been hearing all that. People dressed up Michigan players with the binoculars at games, and Robbie knows our signals, especially on defense.
Oh, they definitely
Robbie knows some of the offensive ones too. So we're gonna have to change a lot of that stuff up, or use cards like Oregon used to, or something this weekend just to get the advantage. Because I believe Robbie's up in the box when he's coaching.
Well, and it'll be interesting too, just because we've changed so much of the coverage stuff that we have on the backside. So it might not be detrimental, but he will know some things.
Yeah. I'm sure Ronnie's changed up some of the signals and things like that, just from team taking over. But you're right. Where Robbie used to play and his safety position is totally different than we're running the safety position.
Totally different.
And I think it's actually benefited us.
Oh, I think it drastically has.
Big time.
Yeah. It's freed up our linebackers to kind of roam the middle and kind of stop. And then also what we haven't seen this far, a lot, is our defensive ends kind of dropping back like they used to,
right?
Which that's something that, you probably could see too, is if we have a heavy pass oriented team is fake the rush and have them drop back and just
remember, I think I mentioned this before when Governor was leading our team
in 4 interceptions.
He was a freshman or whatever. Speaking of Cubs, man, I love it. His bench press thing, I just love that. Every time he gets big play,
that sack where he just sacked, that was all him, just getting double teamed and just pure
just pure beast mode. Like, he's just a freaking he's like a barbarian out there.
Oh man,
killing folks. It's just I love watching some Gubs, man.
I love the dance, man. It is awesome.
I call it the bench press dance. You gotta just I don't know what it is, but it's so cool. I love it, man. Love it.
So one thing that going through the Nerd and Me, they are top 5 in the nation for third down percentage. So that's something that we'll have to watch.
Yeah,
52% or above 52% on third down. So something to kind of look at as well going into this game is their run, as we've talked about, and just third down percentage, which kind of goes into what we've been doing. We've been stopping the run. We've been doing, really great on third down. The only thing that is a little different is their quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Dante Chachere or whatever his name is, is their second leading rusher on the team. He's getting 493 yards this year, averaging 54 yards a game, 7 touchdowns. He is just he reminds me of a long-legged Dalton Sneed where he doesn't have the passing, but he just loves to kind of like gamer kind of just like run, right? Or what's his face from
talking like Tim Tebow?
No, white guy, little guy, not Baker Mayfield, the other guy,
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel. That's what he reminds me of. But Chachere is just,
but not as good.
But not as good. No. But just long-legged, just quick. And so we really got to make sure that we contain him.
Yeah, we do.
Our ends.
That's going to be the big key, I think, is containing their offense. Their defense has lots of holes. They've got good linebackers.
Oh yeah.
Like they're probably their best thing on their defense is their linebackers.
Yep.
Their front's okay. So I mean, it could be a high-scoring game too. I mean,
it could be.
It's just, I mean, and the only thing is with them running the ball all the time too, that clock's gonna, I'm curious. I didn't look, but my guess is their time of possession in most games is pretty high because they're running the ball.
A little over 32 minutes.
Yeah, so they're usually. I mean, if they're averaging that, they're dominating the time of possession too.
Yeah, they're top 4 in the Big Sky. So, their running back Joby Mallory, he was a walk-on, which is crazy to say that he was a walk-on. He's averaging 89 carries this year, 599 yards, 12 touchdowns, 66 average. One thing that's
you say he had 6 of them though, or something in one game.
What's that? Yeah. So his Eastern Washington game had 23 carries, 241 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So half of his touchdowns have been in one game.
I'm pretty sure that was when he was Big Sky Player of the Week that week.
Probably. I would think he'd probably, even Eastern Washington. That's just horrible. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
6 touchdowns.
Eastern didn't want to play football anymore, apparently.
Like, oh my goodness gracious. And they won that game by 12. Like, you cut that in half in Eastern, you win that game.
Yeah. I don't know what Eastern was doing. I didn't watch that one. So
just
I don't
give them 4. Not 6.
I think we forgot to mention this. Speaking of players of the week, Clifton McDowell got player of the week this week.
Exactly.
So congratulations to Clifton.
And I think Eli Gilman got honorable mention, as well.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Yeah, nationally for national player.
For national. I thought I did something like that for FedEx honorable mention or something like that.
Yeah. So, great things happening for the Griz, but wide receivers, they've got Jermaine Braddock. He's got 42 receptions, 422 yards, and 6 touchdowns. They do not pass the ball a lot, like we said. Dante Chachere has only got 1,236 yards passing and 14 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. You want him to pass the ball.
Yeah,
he is.
We want to take away that run.
Yeah.
And let him throw, and then it's hopefully Gradney's back because I think there could be some opportunities for.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of the passes that he wants to do, he does not want to be in the pocket as well. He wants to run out of the pocket, use his legs so he's kind of multi-dimensional, and then throw the ball. So,
like you said, that Johnny Manziel style.
Yep.
Or for our older fans, the Doug Flutie style.
There you go. I think he's a little faster than Doug Flutie, though. like you said, Luke, their defense, Parker McKenna is their linebacker, their stud, 53 tackles.
That's their key is those two linebackers for the defense.
7 tackles for loss, 1 interception, and then Michael Montgomery, he's got 50 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. Their defensive lineman Slade Shuffelt has 12 tackles, but one thing about him is he's got 3.5 sacks. So other than that, they've only had 8 interceptions, I believe, on the year. And so not a great – they're plus in the turnover margin, but not by much. So you're not going to see a lot of turnover battle there as long as we keep the ball. But, yeah, like we said, you said too, is if we keep Chachere contained with our defense, stop the run a little bit and make them pass, and then make them – what is really interesting is they play a 5-man front, right?
Right.
And that is going to be interesting on how big our gaps are in our line.
Yeah, because we have been playing that wide gap.
Yeah, and how that is effective with having 5 men on the line.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm not sure how we'll. I think we'll still go with that more gap, and then if they do start, let's say, busting through the gaps faster or something like that, then we'll narrow those up. But right now, I mean, it's working for us. Yeah. So I wouldn't stop doing it because it seems to be working well for and creating good lanes for our running backs and everything.
Yeah.
So, and it might spread them out more, unless we get them where they're just lining up straight in the gap. But even then, a good offensive lineman will get right on your hip and put you down on the wash, and you're done. So, it'll be. I mean, the thing is I think our coaching staff will be ready to adjust. If we need to adjust the splits a little bit, we can. But it's working right now, and I mean, so I see us staying the same unless we have to adjust.
I do too. This is gonna be something interesting to watch for the Saturday, but also their field goal kicker Gianni Smith, 10 of 11, 90%.
That's dang good.
It's dang good. I saw him kick it the other day. Pretty good kicker. And they're averaging their kick return. Christian Grubb's averaging about 24.8 average on a kick return. Punt return, Quincy Craig is averaging about 16.9 average as well on their punt return. So they've got some nice things, but then it's just like they just drop off. So not a complete team.
Again, you don't know which team's going to show up. Oh, damn. I just got a final. Griz lost 70-83. But, put up a good fight against Gonzaga. I think that's a good
Exactly. Team. Well, and that's it's first game, right?
Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see what team shows up. I mean, I'm really hoping we go in there like the Samari Toure game when that was his big breakout game, which led to him leaving us and going to Nebraska. But I mean, hoping for something like that where and I think Bobby wants to do that too. It's like he doesn't want to lose to his son or Barney. It's like, I'm not gonna. The players are that way too. I mean, it's they have the choice. You want to be 9-1 going into next week's game, or you want to be 8-2. Well, 9-1 sounds a hell of a lot better. Playing in the last game of the year for the Big Sky Conference Championship, how it should be. So,
exactly. Yeah. Well, and just to think about how devastating would that be, losing to Portland State? It's just
we're rolling right now. That's where we got to win this game because that's going to keep our momentum. Because the momentum's huge. You see it in games and everything. Well, it works from game to game too, and so we got to keep that momentum going. And like we said, we're playing our best football right now. I don't see us losing to these guys unless some weird ass crazy thing happens and half the team is sick with the flu or something. I mean, we should go in there, do what we've been doing. I mean, we just beat the 7th ranked team in the nation 34-7.
34-7.
I mean, it's like, come on. If we can do that, we should be able to go in and handle our business here. If we are who we say we are, we should be able to do that and keep rolling on to the brawl.
And I think that we'll do that. It might be a little bit closer than 34-7, just because I don't know. It'd be really interesting to see what the Versus app is going to be with that. Because
I've already pulled the Versus app and I got my down. So
okay, I don't have mine. I've got what I kind of am leaning on, but I don't have mine just yet. So don't
I
say
came
that.
up with mine at about I think 2 p.m. today. It was right before the press conference. I was just like, I'm feeling this right now. I wrote it down. So, I've been wrong all season, but I mean, at least not wrong on we've been pretty right on the winning side for the most
part. We have.
Yeah.
We've been pretty good on that, except for the NAU game, which is crazy.
No one predicted that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think we've pretty much covered Portland State. I think we got what we need to cover on that. We've got a lot of questions, guys, from fans, so we'll go into that. I've got the Twitter ones. Do you have those too?
I don't. I was not.
I got them right here.
All right.
No problem. So we got M Thorich, forward 61 Tom. How amazing was the 97-yard bomb to Keelan? I thought it was awesome on the broadcast when Marty was breaking down a team's mentality when backed up like that and then called the shot. Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, I love it when Marty breaks that stuff down. When they give him the telestrator,
I love that.
Give it to us, Marty. And they totally broke that down. It's awesome. And then that was the play. I mean, I was hoping they would do that. Like, usually you take a shot. And I was glad that we took that shot. And then to see White high step it to get away from that, because that guy didn't try to give up. The other guy took a poor angle, and I mean, it was house time. So
I think it is amazing. I love Marty. Someday I hope we can have him on the podcast. If you can spare 30 minutes, even 10 minutes would be amazing
I think we could get him. I think it would have to be after the season, or maybe between. Somewhere here. We'll get Marty on the show, though. That
would be awesome.
I just want to listen.
Exactly. I do too.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's that Sean Anderson guy again.
Is that the Cat fan?
No, it's the guy that had us ranked 17th.
I guess.
Yeah. And now he has us at number 4 after that win. Which is ridiculous. What has changed? Anyways, Bridger, B. Dean Lord, unsportsmanlike conduct call on all the players was weird, but I thought Cotton was called for an unsportsmanlike conduct sometime after it did not get thrown out. Did I see that right?
No, I think that was. I think he got a personal foul.
That was a personal foul. Yeah.
So that's different.
Yeah. Kodiak Ultramarine 1019. What do you think of the most impactful play of the game?
I've been waiting for this one.
Yeah. So I have 2, right? I have one, and then I have the other, and I might be blitzing on where these happened, but my first one was the Governor sack.
Okay.
I think that kind of like propelled us there, and I don't know where that happened. I thought that was like the second quarter, but the main one that I think switched the momentum was the Bergen pass to McDowell. I think really set us off where it got the crowd going, and then it led to other things as well.
Yeah. So we're on the same page here. So
okay.
We're on the same.
We talked about this, but we didn't say.
Yeah, we didn't say. We mentioned this because we were excited about this question. So we appreciate you asking this. I put some thought into it. I was actually rewatching the game. I was like, there it was.
Yeah.
So for me, Hayden Harris tips the ball, right? Gets his pop. Like the announcer, whoever announces with Marty, I can't remember that guy's name, but he always screws up who the person is. He was like, I think it was Governor, maybe it was this. It was Hayden Harris, number 48. Hayden Harris gets his pop, knocks the ball down. Right? Okay, it's 4th down. They punt. The punter has the shank-potamus punt. Junior runs it, gets it up there, and he's way down the field. We're up in position, and what do we do then? We do a little razzle dazzle.
Yep.
And we do this reverse. I thought we were running the reverse, and all of a sudden there's Clifton. I'm like, oh my God, you just get it. And he chucks it. It was right there. And I was like, oh, they're done. Yeah. Our guys are having so much fun out here. After that little series, I was like, this is about to snowball. And sure enough, next thing you know, we're in the end zone. We're scoring. We're in the end zone again and again. That was the turning point right there for me.
Yeah.
When Hayden blocked that down, that whole defense was so fired up. I was like, uh-oh. They're in trouble. Like these guys are playing, lights out right now. And then when he shanks the punt, anytime Junior run, the crowd, you can hear the crowd getting into it and stuff.
Yep.
it was just, I mean, it sounded to me like a playoff, type of atmosphere. And what I'm excited, so I just got myself an Apple Watch, and on these
look at you.
These Apple Watches, I got it for working out, but they had this little thing on here. It's your noise thing.
Okay.
And I cannot wait to be in Washington Grizzly during Griz Cat and hearing how loud it gets. Because I was at a D2 game this weekend and someone was blowing an air horn, and it was like, oh, it's too loud. You need to watch your. It was giving me warnings and stuff. I was like, oh, I can't wait to have this in Griz.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
Just going nuts because you could just tell the crowd got into it and everything. And
yeah,
man, I was jealous of everybody that was there.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Well, and it was. I can't believe he shanked it that bad. Like the coverage was going to the right. He shanked it to the left.
I really thought Junior was going to take it to the house.
Oh, he had an opportunity.
Well, house time. Here we go. And
exactly.
And so, I mean, I think it was cool. Like, I feel like Pease realized, like, oh my God, look at this momentum we got. Hey, let's do a little razzle dazzle. There's a little Boise State, the different things that Pease has got all sorts of tricks up his sleeve.
Oh, yeah.
Double reverse pass to Clifton, and Clifton's just wide open. I mean, there was nobody around him. It was awesome.
Oh, and he played that perfectly. And when they reviewed that, or replayed that, like he was coming out, kind of was like jogging where the linebackers' eyes were totally on.
Oh yeah, he kind of slows it up.
And when he saw that, he booked it.
Yeah, he read it perfectly. He slows up like, oh, I'm just going to be a quarterback out here to block, and I really don't want to touch anybody. And then as soon as he saw that, boom, he hit it. Yeah, perfect.
I loved how Marty was like, oh, yeah, I saw them run that play this last week. It looks like they did a really good job. Like,
Marty goes to practice all the dang time. He sees all those, and just waiting for him to run it. So
yeah. Good old Grizzly at Good Old Grizzly. Biggest area for improvement going into this week?
That's a good question. I think some of it's just mental stuff. Like that play that we had 12 men on the field where we had to separate everybody separate and stuff. Yeah. That's a play that they obviously practice a lot, and someone just made a mistake and was out there. So I think it's just those little mental things.
And I always totally wanted to see that play too.
I did too. I was bummed.
I was like, oh man. That formation, I was like, what in the world are they running?
Now that they did that, all the teams have to practice that stuff now. So that's one thing with that. But it seems like we're getting better, like we should be each week. Yeah. We want to be playing our best ball in November, and we're doing that right now. So I don't know. There's not I mean, that was almost their best complete game that they played this week. Other than like a few mistakes at the beginning. Was on some alignment spots on the D line and linebackers, but we corrected it so quick and we stopped it. So I think just keep doing what they're doing and keep improving.
So I'm gonna throw something in here that might be not be like, and it's just kind of not like something we need to improve on, but it's something I would like to see going on, because I think that it will make us a better football team in the long run, right? And you can say that I'm backup quarterback happy or whatever, but I would like to see a little bit more of Ayat, just because from all accounts, they said that this is going to be a 2-quarterback system, right? And I totally get, like McDowell was cooking, right? And you don't want to relieve that. I'm just saying is that if we're going to use that, and if it truly is a 2-quarterback system, getting kind of a process of how we're going to work that.
Well, so when I saw it this weekend, I was going, did Bobby just say that in the press conference just to
mess with everybody?
Because he'll do that. He'll say stuff like that. Like, don't believe what he says in those press conferences, because he likes to throw things out there that might throw people off. Because I'm sure after the previous game, they practiced and were ready for Ayat to come out. Just like we thought. We're like, hey, that freshman played awesome. And then what do? They played him. And so I was like, oh, here we go. We're probably going to play Ayat next. And we never did. So
we didn't, which was kind of crazy, I thought.
I'll be curious to see what happens now. This next week in Portland is a great opportunity to play some more Ayat if we wanted to, because that defense is susceptible.
Yeah.
So, and I think too, again, if Clifton's on a roll, I'm glad that they weren't like abruptly, oh, no, we got to do this because we said we're going to do this.
I don't think we're going to see them very much, though, because just how bad their rush defense is. Their rush defense is number 8 in the Big Sky.
You're right. I'm talking like if we can get up big,
get
Clifton out, get Ayat some more playing time. That's where I guess I'm talking.
Yeah.
It's more like, I don't think we'll see him until like 3rd or 4th if we're up big. So
yeah. Well, and I just think that would be kind of nice to see, just kind of get him some reps, because you just never know what's going to happen in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
I just think having that card back there in your back pocket could be nice to have.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, and college snaps are hard to come by, so it's like getting him more time, like especially if like we can, get up, I think would be key, because that way if we do need him in the playoffs, he's ready.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already impressed all of us, but
we've got another one here. Bridger, B. Dean Lord. If the season ended today, the Griz would beat Idaho for the conference regular season chipper with a head-to-head. Which Griz players are on the all-conference team?
Oof.
Stats-wise, not many, but record-wise, first place teams usually takes a big portion of all the conference spots.
Yeah, so I say like on defense, Gubner,
definitely.
Braxton Hill.
Yep.
And then
I say Gradney.
Yeah, Gradney because of his picks. I was thinking, Cotton's close, but he might be like 2nd or 3rd team or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I think you could put Wilson in there as a 2nd teamer.
Well, too. He's gonna be really close too. Yeah, he'd probably get 2nd team.
He'd probably get 2nd team. So
you could even see Janicaro in there for 2nd.
Yeah,
team
I was thinking Janicaro too, but first team guys definitely. I think Braxton, Gubbs
definitely,
and Gradney. So and then let's go. Well, special teams,
offense,
juniors, special teams.
Juniors got it.
Yeah, he should have it anyway. Yeah, let's go offense. So offense,
Eli.
Yeah, Gilman for sure. Like
he's got to be freshman of the year.
Freshman of the year, and he should get there.
Yeah.
I
don't think we win.
You could give like a 2nd or 3rd, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say there. So I mean, but I say so. Eli, Bergen as receiver, and probably Fonts at receiver. And then I'd say AJ Forbes at center. I think
he's one that doesn't get the recognition that I think he really deserves.
I think the coaches vote on that, and I think they would, because I think the coaches realize that. I mean, he's the quarterback of that offensive line.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I'd say him, and I wouldn't be surprised if like Journey got like a 2nd or something. He's been playing real well too, kind of under the.
I think you could probably see McGinnis as well in there.
Well, he's had those last 2 games. Yeah, he's been out those last 2 games.
Yeah, but if he plays the next 2 games,
playing like a man child. So I hope he does. I
think that we got. Though I don't think we're gonna get any of the punters or kick returners, just because if it stopped where we were with Idaho, I think Glasgow might be in the running. But Glasgow, I don't know if he's nursing an injury or what.
I'm not sure either. I mean, Ramos played this whole week, and we did see him go in the tunnel the week before, so he could have some kind of foot injury or something. But I mean, thank goodness we got a decent backup. So
exactly. I'm kind of running through here, so I don't.
That was a good question, though. I like that question.
It was. I just don't want to make sure that I didn't miss anybody's.
Well, you're looking. I just do want to give a shout out to everybody that hit me up on Twitter, Messenger, texts when my daughter and I got on the broadcast for the game. That was awesome. She was pretty pumped, and it's always cool to hear Marty talk good things about you when you run the old school colors. So that was fun. So
yeah. Let's go on to. I think I got all the ones from Twitter. I've got to give a shout out to so something happened to me that I wasn't expecting. So Scott Jones. So Scott texted me on Messenger.
Okay.
And basically was like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but we went to grade school together. And so, I wanted to give him a shout out. We reconnected after being away from grade school.
That's cool.
He's a Griz fan. He listens to the podcast.
Very cool.
So yeah, it was kind of cool to see and kind of reconnect with, a former, Laurel Light. And then Timothy Pratt contacted both of us.
That was cool of Timothy.
Yeah. So thanks for getting a hold of us. We love when you guys get a hold of us as well. So, let's
talking about Griz bringing together. So when our picture came up there, I heard from my cousin who I haven't heard from like 5 years.
Oh, you kidding
Arizona. He texted me and he's like, we just saw you on the broadcast. And I was like, holy cow. So yeah, that was
how are you?
Yeah, like you never know what Griz games will do. So
there you go. So we're going on to eGriz here, and as well, guys. Thank you for reaching out to us again. We love when you guys get a hold of us here. B-Horn Weasel, did the Griz do enough to secure a seed? My thoughts on that is we're in the playoffs, I think.
Yeah, I would say we're in the playoffs.
I don't think we have secured a seed.
I think if we beat Portland, we secure a seed.
If we beat Portland State, I think we'll have a seed. If we beat when we run out, we'll have secured. I don't know how you don't put us
after we beat Portland and we beat the Cats, we'll have a 2 seed.
I don't know how you don't put us at a 2 seed. If we beat Portland State and lose against the Kitties, I think you're looking at anywhere between maybe a 5, but more likely a 6 through an 8.
5 or 6 seed is what I think. If for some reason that happens.
I think you're pushing maybe 6 to 8. I don't know if you do a 5.
I think a lot of it depends on what else happens in the.
Yeah, it does
out there because I mean, like Furman just about lost to Chattanooga. Now they were down their quarterback, their starting quarterback, but they about lost. So if Furman goes down in the next 2 weeks too, that could change everything.
See that makes me frustrated because this league is made up of Big Sky and Missouri Valley teams.
Furman plays Idaho.
Who's Furman play?
If they play Idaho, the Cats, or us, or even Sac State, they lose.
No, they lose. They lose all those games.
They lose to North Dakota State. They lose to South Dakota. They lose to South Dakota State.
Northern Iowa. They would lose.
They got to have somebody from that conference. And they haven't. It's they're not playing the same type of football that the Missouri Valley and the Big Sky are playing.
No, they aren't. So why give them a seed? It just pisses me off so much. Yeah. Our next one, MT Griz rule. What factors have positively impacted this defense most? To me, they all know their individual responsibilities, every play, and are in sync with one another. Pass coverage has certainly improved. Run defense isn't over pursuing as often. They're more patient in waiting for the offense to come to them.
Yeah, they're all doing their 111th for sure.
Exactly.
The pass defense is just so much different than we had last year. We're not relying on so much man coverage. We're doing a lot of zones or Tampa 2 and stuff. But the linebackers aren't overrunning. They're not over pursuing. Everybody's being gap sound and doing their job like they're supposed to be. And when they do, holy crap, we're a hard team to beat when that happens. I mean, look at us last year. Everybody, who the hell thought that we were only going to allow Sac 7 points? They've been putting points up on everybody this year.
I said 17.
Yeah, you were close. 17. 17. I went down to 19 and was still going, geez. I don't know, because Sac's been putting points up on everybody, and we held them to 7.
Yeah.
I mean, geez.
I totally do agree with him. I think that the back side of the ball has so much improved our defense that the linebackers don't have to worry, right? And you can, and we're never going to hear that, but you've got to think that they were worrying about the back end of that defense getting beat, that they couldn't. So they were like, I've got to really get pressure on this quarterback. And if I don't, it's goodbye time.
Yeah.
And so I think it kind of alleviates our linebackers knowing that they don't have to be superhuman and cover everything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I guess, like we were saying, everybody's doing their job like they should be, and it's allowing us to do more and blitz more, and and we're not. I mean, we're this 3-3-5, but if you look, we're running a 4-front a lot of times. It's like it's just that one guy standing up, and it's like we're using that 3-3-5, but it's confused. We're confusing everybody. Ronnie's doing a great job with it.
He is.
And running all these other defensive schemes out of it. But between him and Tim Houck, we're lucky to have those two minds up there conceiving all this wild stuff. And the thing is like we've got all our guys on defense that understand it. Like I don't think at the beginning of the season they all had it quite yet, but they're all getting it now and know what they're supposed to do and recognizing the things and making, and they're coachable.
Yeah.
Coaches say, hey, you need to do this. They're listening and doing their job and making the adjustments, and it's paying off.
Yeah, and I think that's just the being able to be coachable and to be able to mold each other and kind of grow. You kind of see that with how much we've improved too, right? Is, this team probably wasn't the best team that we've had at the beginning of the year, but they were able to take that coaching and kind of get better each and every week. And we see that each and every week.
They're developing and learning and doing. Yeah, this is what we wanted.
Yep.
It was them to be playing again. I keep repeating it, but their best football in November, and that's what we're seeing. So
he's got two more questions here. Sure. So one of them is, how impressed are you with McDowell's accuracy on the big pass plays? He threw a lot of near perfect passes. Even the sideline incomplete pass to Fonts was accurate. Fonts should have caught it. And he should have had that that one on the sideline. I was really impressed, and I think we mentioned this. I mentioned this earlier. Is I was really impressed with McDowell and how he responded to the previous game against Northern Colorado, where we inserted Ayat and kind of
it just felt
downgraded his play a little bit.
Yeah, like he was holding the ball too much there, and
and so to see like he was holding the ball a little bit too much at the beginning of the first couple of drives, and then to see how he took that, and they probably said something to him, and then he just totally changes and reverses and then comes out lights out and just starts bawling. It's a testament to him and his fortitude just to be able to take that and not get down on himself. And I hope that he takes that as a good thing too, because it was awesome to see Ayat and both of them just interacting and kind of just the first ones to kind of congratulate each other, which is awesome to see. But yeah, he really impressed me this last game. And like, even though I want to see another quarterback just for that kind of mix and match, I don't fault the coaches for not doing that, because honestly, I was like, oh, they're not going to play him. By halftime, I was like, they're not going to play him. Like they're balling out. Why would they want to change something and throw a wrench in it? So
I thought the only way we're going to see Ayat is at like fourth quarter mop up time, because Clifton's playing, and he's right. Like Clifton's dropping dimes, and he's not shot putting the ball like he was kind of at the beginning of the season that we saw.
Yeah.
Now he's actually throwing it, and I don't know. His accuracy has improved, and it just feels like he keeps improving. So let's just hope he just keeps doing that.
Yeah. His third question here: what's more likely, McDowell being a consistent big play maker close to Snead's senior year, more of a good game manager, no politically correct coach speak responses? It's hard to say because this is his first year actually playing the quarterback. Like, do I think he'll get to Snead? I honestly don't think he'll get to that level, because Snead was a great quarterback.
Yeah.
But Snead also played different spots and was able to kind of grow. I think that he can get more consistent in throwing the ball, which he already has.
Yeah.
Is he going to be himself be a lights out playmaker? I think he has to have the people around him to be the playmaker. I don't think he can be the individual playmaker. I think that right now he's really good with his feet, and I think he has really good people around him that can be the playmakers on the opposite side.
Yeah. Well, so like I guess I feel a little bit different. Like I think
that's right.
No, I think that he can be that baller, but in a different way than Snead.
Yeah.
Like Snead, I think, had a better arm talent.
Oh yeah.
And Clifton's getting there, but where Clifton is, I think, over Snead is his running ability. Like Snead was the kind of sneaky runner.
Mm-hmm.
Clifton is out there. I mean, that is a man.
That's
like
big.
He is 6'4", 215, and he ain't afraid. Like he pushes people around. I mean, he's a big dude. And the thing is like Snead, he's got that kind of it factor where the team's following him. And he's become the leader out there, which that's what I was looking for at the beginning of the season. I'm pumped that he's got that.
Yeah.
And like today, I was glad to see that he's finally at the press conference. Like finally our quarterback is out there. And so, but then what is he doing again? He's giving all the props to the offensive line. And he knows about Dola. He mentioned it. I'm like, hell yes, that is awesome when he's talking about Dola and stuff. So I think he has the ability to be this playmaker, but just in a different type, like where he's going to be busting out runs and stuff, or he's making catches that Bergener throw. I mean, like that's playmaker stuff right there. It's I'm excited because he's just different. We haven't had a quarterback quite like him before. And he's putting his own stamp on it, and I applaud him.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I applaud him for too. Is he's not like any other guy that we've had. He's a different kind of quarterback.
He's his own guy. Like
he's his own guy
thing, and he's doing him, and that's why I was totally cool with the coaching staff leaving him in there, not even putting Ayat out there because he was doing his own thing and rolling. And I mean, he's got the team playing great. Like I said long ago, and I can't remember which game it was, when his helmet popped off and he hopped up and was all fired up. I'm like, oh boy, that's the kind of guy we need right there. I think
that was the Idaho State game.
I think it was, and it was towards the fourth quarter. But I was like, oh, that's that leadership we need. You're playing and so excited, your enthusiasm and your love for the game is going to get everybody else excited and everybody playing hard, and that's what's going on. Because we noticed at the beginning of the season they were playing different when he was in there. And the same thing happens when Ayat was in there too.
Oh yeah,
that doesn't change. Fortunately with Sam, like it was a little different. I think it felt like even the play calling was different. So I don't know if that was part of it, but there's something about Clifton that he's got the backing of the team, and that's pretty awesome.
Well, and it's important to have. So Griz CC 1979. I know no QB can be perfect, but I love that Clifton had 0 interceptions before Sac State game. The interception seemed uncharacteristic of his play, as he is usually so deliberate with his throws. Can you chalk the interception up to anything specific? I honestly, I'm not going to BS around it. I have no clue where that ball was going to. I don't know if it was tipped. I don't know if the weather made him slip and he couldn't hold on to the ball. There was nobody over there. And it was so low that I don't know what happened.
So QB Club is awesome. You guys should all join QB Club. Because Bobby talked about, someone asked him, but I think I can say this. Like someone was like, hey, what happened? And Bobby was like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know where he was throwing it to. So I think there was, I don't know if it was weather, if it was just something happened that it was just a fluke. Like there was nobody around. I don't know what was going on there. And Bobby may know, but he didn't give it to us there. He just goes, I don't know where he's throwing. So
join QB Club.
Yeah, it's awesome. You get. I'll just tell you get a lot more that I can't even talk about on this show. That's great, and
that's awesome.
Inside stuff. So, if you have the funds, I would highly recommend it. And for me, I watch it on Zoom. Even if you live in Missoula, it's even better. You get a meal out of it and other things too. So
yeah, definitely.
And the money goes to support the team. So
I'm just glad that they're able to. If you're like us guys that don't get to be in Missoula, that you're able to still do that. So
in certain areas like Great Falls, there's actually a chapter there that they all get together and watch it.
Oh, that's cool.
Billings, I think there's one in Sydney too.
Oh, wow.
Where they all get together. And so there's quite a few of them. They're trying to form more and more of them where there's a bunch of different members that will meet up together and watch it as a group. So,
that's cool. Let's see. Griz grad 2010. Excuse me. What kind of impact, if any, do you feel Tim Houck is providing the defense? His extensive NFL experience, in my opinion, almost certainly has to offer up tons of additional defensive perspectives that he can help implement in their game planning and scheming for high-powered offenses like Sac. Curious if any of you know or better understand the role he plays and what value he possibly brings to defense. That suddenly looks like a top 2 to 3 defense in the country.
Yeah, well, so Tim's up in the box during the games, and him and Ronnie have a history together.
Is he able to be in the box though?
From my understanding, he is.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I thought he wasn't able to.
I thought he wasn't either, but I've been told he's been up in the box, and it's okay. So he may. Okay. I don't know if he's taken a different type of role or if someone else is back. You know what I mean? Okay. But I do know that his fingerprints are all over our defensive secondary. These zone packages and stuff for running are straight out of the Eagle.
Yeah.
And what he's doing. So he's making a difference. It's a combination between his mind and Ronnie Bradford's mind together that are helping design this defense. And I think we're getting even more than just a secondary to Tim. I think he's going, hey, we did this here. And what do you think about this? And we've got two great minds together, coming up with these great schemes, and it's working. And they're able to. The nice thing is they're able to make adjustments in game.
Well, that's the amazing thing.
Yeah, that's the best thing about it. It's like we're not waiting until halftime. They're going, hey, I see this now. Adjust now, and we'll do this. And I mean, look at this last game against Sac. They go down to score. We make adjustments. That was it.
That was it. I know, right?
When they batted that ball down, when Hayden Harris batted that ball down, I was like, oh, that's it.
Yeah,
we got this game. It was like it's going to start rolling here, and sure enough, it just snowballed.
Well, and that's what was different from last year. Is just the inability, and it looked like it was like, oh no, the coaches don't want to change. They're going to be stuck in their mindset. But this year, it's so refreshing that I have to thank Bradford and Houck, Tim Houck, that the defensive side of the ball is totally different. They're trying new things. They're changing things right on the spot, which is amazing. And honestly, it does look like a top 2 to 3 defense in the country when we're the last couple of weeks. Yeah, it does. You look at what we've been averaging. Teams have been averaging, the first part of the year anywhere between 21, and then the last 2 weeks they've scored 7.
Yeah.
So our defense is getting better and better each week. You can kind of see it. The UC Davis, we beat them by 8 points. We beat Idaho by 2 points, and that kind of really took off because we were up big on them. And I think they kind of came screaming back. But after that UC Davis, something clicked.
Yeah.
And I think it was the players. I think it finally clicking. I think it's
I think they're buying in. They're totally
buying
into Ronnie and Tim and what they're doing.
I really do think Riley Wilson getting healthy and some of the other defensive line people getting healthy as well kind of help with that as well, because I know it's not a lot, but Cashman being on that defensive line has helped Governor get some rest as well. And we need a fresh Governor.
Totally healthy too.
Exactly.
I don't think he was totally healthy at the beginning of the season because he's playing like he's totally healthy now.
Yeah.
We're seeing much better play out of him too. And it's Tim Houck's stamp, like I said, stamp and fingerprints, whatever you want to call it, are all over our defense. And like you were saying just a little bit ago, a year ago, it felt like we weren't making the adjustments, or we wait till half and hopefully they make adjustments. Now, I mean, it's on the fly and they're doing it now and stopping things. So we have one nasty defense, and it's exciting to watch and fun to watch, guys. They are having so much fun out there playing ball.
It's so fun watching them.
I agree. I mean, they fly to the ball. Like you watch, they're all pursuing all the time, and every one of them, they're greedy out there. They all want the tackle. It's awesome. It's awesome.
So beware the D ass here. What would you say was the turning point for the defense this season? This season. Was it a specific game, play, or player that had transformed this defense?
I think you even answered that with the UC Davis.
I think it was the UC Davis. I think it was finally clicking, and I think Riley Wilson. I think it was a couple different things.
Yeah, I think the big thing is getting healthy.
Yeah,
and like with Riley getting healthy too, it helps Gubbs.
Yep.
You know, our D line was kind of the, we had Gubner, and it was like, he needs help. Well, getting him help and getting healthy out there and stuff, and then again, everybody kind of buying in has helped us improve. But I agree with you. You said the Davis game, I think, is where it really kind of made the turning point.
Yeah. He also says here, even though we are putting up a lot of points in recent weeks, I still feel a bit concerned about slow starts on offense in recent weeks. Do you both have any concern about that?
We have been starting slow a little bit.
Yeah, we have been.
I mean, I think it almost feels like we're getting our feet underneath us and finding out what their defense is giving us. And then this is what it feels like to me. Then Pease goes, "Oh, here it is. This is what they're giving us." And then we just start rolling. Like, I think that's what it feels like. It's like he's filling them out, trying to see what the opposing team's defense is going to give us, and then he just starts taking advantage of it.
But that didn't happen in Idaho, though.
No, I mean, Idaho, we just blew the doors out. I mean, again, play a complete game, and who knows what that would be. I mean, it was almost like we went too conservative that second half. I don't know. That was weird in Idaho. Thank God we came out with the W.
I'm just throwing something out here. Is it because they're at home?
Well,
is it because they
advantage?
Because they feel comfortable at home that they know that they can. Hey, let's get a deeper dive of what they're going to be doing, and then we can flip the switch on and roll over this team. Is it just because, hey, we're at home, we're good?
Some of it is at home. I mean, there's definitely. I mean, when you're playing in Washington Grizzly, it gives you an extra confidence than it does being on the road. Now, that being said, this team this year, minus the NAU game, has played outstanding on the road. I mean,
they have.
In the past, we just weren't doing it. I mean, I think it's the last time we beat two ranked teams on the road was 2000 when I was there. That's freaking 20 some years ago. So I couldn't believe that stat. I was like, that's the last time we done that. So great to see that we're beating teams on the road. And I'm glad that our schedule, though, at the end of the season here puts us at Portland on the road and then back to play the Kitties at home. So, and then we do what we need to do, and we're going to have a lot of home playoff games, which holy crap. What could happen there? We got a bunch of home playoff games.
If we won out and got playoffs at home throughout the playoffs, that would be so big.
That's huge.
That would be so big.
Yeah.
Ski bum. With Cliff McD putting his stamp on this team and having another year of eligibility and Ayat emerging as the next in line, what does this mean for Vidlak? Does he look for a better fit via the portal or choose, hopefully, to settle into Missoula and commit to learning the system and being an asset in the next man up scenario?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I don't. So if you look at what he's done,
that's what I was going to say.
He's trying to find a spot. He wants to play, and you can't credit him for not doing that. Like the era of football and finding a spot. Like I think that you look at the Chris Brown situation.
Yeah.
He did that, right? Like what this ski bum is saying is, do you buy in and you say, hey, I'm going to learn the system, not play, but kind of commit to the team?
Biggest team players we've got. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. Or does he want to go play somewhere? No matter what he decides to do, I don't fault him for that. Yeah. I think from all accounts, he's a great dude. He's a great guy.
Yeah, too.
And I wish him the best. I think he's going to have a hard time finding a spot in getting the reps to grow.
Yeah.
If you're the third quarterback on this team, you're not getting any reps.
Yeah.
So and I don't think the play calling fits his style. I think that he needs to be able to pass the ball, and I don't think our scheme kind of fits him.
Yeah. I mean, I feel for the guy because he's been at Oregon State, Boise State, now back here. I mean, we originally recruited him.
Oh yeah, well, he committed to us first.
Yeah, when we had him in spring, and he played well in spring ball. Everybody has to remember we didn't have Clifton and we didn't have Kaylee Ayat.
Yeah.
He was still in high school.
Yep.
So I think the staff really thought he was going to be our guy. Then all of a sudden we get Clifton, and it's like, okay, let's see who emerges.
Yeah.
Well, then, like we were talking early, we kept hearing whispers of Ayat and how well he was doing at camp, and it's like, oh my gosh, he's way better than everybody thought. And then it happens in football. You get beat out, it's just one of those things. And so it'll be interesting to see what he decides in the offseason because of the fact that he's transferred so many times. Does he want to transfer again and start over again?
Yeah.
Every time you do that, you're starting over. Or does he say, you know what? I'm going to stick with this program. I'm going to see what I can do and see if maybe I can earn that spot because he's got talent.
Oh, he does have talent.
And yes, the other thing we got to think about too, Clifton does have another year. Will he decide to play that other year?
Exactly.
Just hypothetically speaking, let's say we run the freaking table, win the national championship. He might be like, hey, I did it. I'm out. Good. I've been going to school for so many years. I mean, some of these seniors have been there for 7 years now, it seems like.
Yeah.
They call it good. And then it's like, okay, yeah, we need Vidlac, hopefully he stays. So I think that's to be determined still. It'll be interesting to see what he decides just because, again, Oregon State, Boise, here, this is his third spot. Do you jump again? I mean, what are your odds of, it's hard to do that sort of thing and start over again. I mean, I'm just trying to think mentally how tough that's got to be on a guy,
Well, yeah. Well, and you don't know where his mentality is right now, just with, and I feel for the guy.
Me too.
I don't know if you're going to find out, if you're going to find out with McDowell until the end of the year.
He won't. No, and they shouldn't even put that on Clifton until
no. And I just looking at Twitter, I know that his aunt reached out to Griz Nation and kind of said congratulations to her nephew and that she was proud of him and thanked the team and stuff for trusting him and kind of doing that, which I saw on Twitter. And so he's made it this far, and he's finally gotten to play quarterback. I don't see him relinquishing that and saying, hey, I'm going to hang up my cleats when he's just now getting started. Right.
And it's hard to hang him up. Like you might like on Osmo saying he's done after this year. Well, as soon as the season's over, you start going, ooh, maybe I don't want to be done. I'd like to play some more. And that's where I forgot about that with Clifton. This is really his first year playing. He really didn't play at Central Arkansas.
No.
Well, he seems like he really loves playing football.
Yeah.
So if he's got 1 year eligibility left, you're damn right he might come back because it's like, hey, I want to keep playing.
Well, and one thing that I kind of, if you don't listen to the Big Sky Breakdown with Colter Nuanez and Brooks Nuanez, like they did a podcast about Ayat, and it was just really awesome to see and hear that this has been happening, and these rumbles have been happening since the summer, right? That they knew what they had kind of got. They knew that, this area that Ayat is playing in Hawaii is pretty good.
Brooks flat out said when he saw him in camp, he was best quarterback on our team.
So, and there's multiple people that had said that too.
Yeah.
And so knowing that, Bobby doesn't like playing a freshman quarterback. And so do you kind of say, hey, we'll see how it goes throughout the year. We've got some things in place and, it doesn't go where you go. I honestly don't think that he's going to be there. It would be surprising to me for Vidlac to be coming back. So
we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah,
it all depends on what he wants to do, and I'd be surprised too, I guess, if he sticks around.
Yeah. Jared Kuhn. Great win by the Griz and a killer atmosphere Saturday night. My burning question is, how conflicted is Robbie Hauk this week?
Not at all.
I don't think he is. I think
his dad's ass is what he wants to do. So I guarantee you Robbie roots for the Griz.
Oh yeah.
Every other weekend. But this one, I mean, there's nothing like beating your old man, you know.
Yeah.
That's the goal especially at his own game. So
yep. And I think that he wants to beat him. Like, well, who doesn't want to beat their dad at something, right?
And as soon as this weekend's over, Robbie's gonna be rooting for us to beat the Cats.
Exactly. So. Exactly. So yeah, I don't think he's conflicted at all. But
not at all.
That's just me.
Now the one who will be conflicted is Bobby's wife Stacy. Because it's like, do I root for my husband or for my son? That would be the mom's always the one that's more conflicted.
Yeah.
So
let's see here. Last question here. What is your opinion on the chances of a PSU letdown? There is a lot riding on the last two games, possible home field throughout the playoffs. Do you think this team can be distracted by the brawl?
No.
That was a quick no. Luke, that was like quick no.
No, they're not going to be distracted at all. It's they're, the coaching staff and the team, like I said, you were talking about the team leadership, the seniors, they have a goal. And part of that goal is beating Portland State so they can get to that goal. Yeah. So that's why I don't think this is going to be a letdown game. I think it's going to be, one more game to go out there and show the nation that we're ready. And the Cats better watch the frick out because we're coming.
And I don't think that it's going to be a letdown by any means. Could it be a lot closer than, 34-7? It could be. It very well could be, with knowing Barney and, Hauk over there in that situation and stuff. But it could also be totally different, and it could be blow them out. Mm-hmm. You just don't know. I don't know. Knowing, and kind of like what Luke said, knowing just how strong our leadership is, I wouldn't think that we would be a letdown, because since the NAU game, our leadership has been different.
Yeah, it has. They went, okay, that's not happening again.
Yeah.
And obviously it's been different since then. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, here he says, do you think the team can be distracted by the brawl? I don't think they're going to get distracted. I think we answered that. Yeah. And that was by Putter. Thanks for the question.
They obviously, everybody knows, we're all thinking about it. It's coming.
Yeah.
But got to take care of this first, for that to mean even more. Like, the goal is to win a Big Sky Conference championship. And to accomplish that goal, that means we got to beat Portland State and then go beat the Cats.
Exactly.
So we have one more step into getting our ultimate goal of the Big Sky Conference championship before we start our new season after the Cats.
Yeah. So I just wanted to, another person, Todd Palmer 5013, reached out to us, and I kind of wanted to give him a shout out to him. He said, attended my first Griz game last Saturday.
Nice.
when they destroyed UNC. Wow, what a great experience. Thank Griz, you have a new fan.
That's awesome.
So I wanted to give him a shout out. That's awesome. Can't imagine your first Griz game being like that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's cool to see. So
the other thing I noticed is we had a ton of recruits at this last game.
We did.
A bunch of them. So that was a great game to have. I saw a bunch of them tweeting out that they were going to the game, and then now afterwards they all got pictures and stuff. So
we got 2 commits before the game.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, there's one from Hawaii, and then another one from.
You texted me that. We're getting the Hawaii connection back.
That's I'm hoping, right? And then we got another guy out of California,
very cool,
quarterback. So a running back and a cornerback. So, but yeah, other than that, that's all of our questions, guys. Like we said, we will love hearing. Oh, we've got one more. Sorry, we've got one more.
Well, then you don't forget about your scores. You're holding on.
Gosh, man, I'm trying to not get it. I'm worried about my score, man. We've got one more here. Sorry, I forgot. Almost forgot. Michael Kemper says here, I feel like this year's team had more talent, but they were on a downward trajectory, while this team is on a drastic upward trajectory. With that being said, who wins if the Griz of last year played the Griz of now?
I say this year's team.
So that's a great question, because the trajectories have been are not even close, right?
Yeah.
And I think hands down, I would say this year's team.
Yeah, the momentum, the play calling is different. I mean, just the way that they're playing together, it's night and day. I mean, and we had a lot of injuries last year. I mean, Lucas getting hurt did not help us, but it feels like this team this year has less individuals and is playing more as a team.
Yeah. Well, you look at O'Connell, like if you say right now, he was hurt right now.
Yeah, he was hurt a bunch too. Yeah.
And then you look at how, great player that he is, if he's going to be coming up and really playing a linebacker role.
Fourth linebacker is what he was, the way he played. Yeah.
I say that we would get the best of him in that situation too, with what we're doing now with our offense. Yeah. I think it's a great question.
This team is playing way better together and gelling way more than our team did last year. So that's why if we put both of them at the same time of the year last year, and this week, this year, the 2023 Griz would beat the 2022 Griz.
And I don't even think it's going to be close.
No.
I would hands down, it would be not even close.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Well, you're not getting out of here with some score predictions.
So no, I'm not.
I'm happy to go first here. So
okay, you go ahead.
The other thing we didn't bring up, so I'm sure most everybody's seen this, but the coaches poll were number 3, yep. Media poll were number 3 this week. So we're still trying to get to that number 2 spot.
Moved above Idaho.
Yeah, we moved above Idaho. I saw, Haley had us down below there, but one thing he did say is it's like between us, the Cats, and Idaho, he really feels like it's 2.0, 2.01, 2.02 sort of thing. You have any of them there. Yeah. He's an idiot.
Well, and if you really want to do an accurate poll, you go 1 SDSU, right? And then you put Montana State, and Idaho.
Yeah, 2, so 3, I think 4. It should be SDSU, Montana State, Idaho, Furman if you want to, and then USD, NDSU.
Yeah.
So, and maybe NDSU is a little lower down, but I mean they're still a pretty damn good team. So,
but who are they gonna lose to? That's in 6 through 10.
Well, that's just it. I don't see NDSU losing to Furman.
Like Incarnate Word is number 10, right? And they just lost to like Nicholls State, or Nicholls, whatever.
Yeah, Nicholls, who someone in our conference beat the hell out of Nicholls.
Yeah, didn't they? Like, and someone that we played, wasn't it like Idaho State?
Yeah, I think it
was.
Or
Northern Arizona that beat them bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
The Versus app also has us at 3. They have the Jacks at 1, South Dakota at 2, the Griz at 3, Idaho 4, Cats 5. Furman 6. So, and then
there's been a lot of good, cool kind of brackets too.
6 and 3 UNI is making their way back up the damn bracket.
I know, right?
Everybody's favorite team to put in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, there's one bracket that was kind of pushed out there that had the Griz as I think like either the 2 or the 3. I think it was the 3, and it had them on the same side as Furman.
Oh yeah,
and Idaho and Montana were on the opposite side.
Oh yeah,
I would take that.
I'll take that every day of the week.
I'll take that all the time.
Yeah, I saw that.
Play Furman and get into the national championship game and not have to play those guys. Yeah, that's fine with me.
So the Versus app also has us at 3, like I just said, and that put the Griz winning 32-26 is what the Versus.
Oh wow.
Which that app's been wrong all season. Like I said, they had us losing last weekend, and
I don't think it's going to be that close.
No. So my prediction this week is Griz 31, PSU 10.
Oh, okay. 31-10, huh?
31-10.
Okay.
I apologize to our defense for not believing in you last week and saying they were going to put up so many freaking points. So
All right.
I am on the defensive bandwagon. I am sorry. They will not score more than 10 points on us this week.
Oh man. Okay, I'm just gonna go with what I wrote down because I'm kind of second guessing myself, but I'm just gonna go for it, right?
Yeah.
34-14.
14. All right.
So
nice. That's what, like I said last week, and I was second guessing myself.
No, I'm not gonna second guess myself. Well, when I saw your second score, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, and I had to comment. I'm like, isn't that a different score? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm not letting you change your score, man.
No, I changed it for so what he's talking about is Sean Rainey will put out predictions before the game.
Yeah.
And so I came and looked at my score and I was like, yeah, I can't put that out there. It's terrible. So I changed my score. And I still wasn't right.
Oh, guys, hey, we love doing this. We're so glad that you guys are willing to listen to us and interact with us as well. Thank you to those guys, the people that were on the live chat, listening. And
happy accident tonight.
Yeah, it was active. So we're so thankful for that. Also, the people that are getting a hold of us on eGriz and Twitter and Facebook Messenger and everything like that. We so greatly appreciate you guys. We do this because we enjoy it and we love talking Griz football. You can agree with us or don't agree with us, but we love doing it.
So are you going to tell everybody about the awesome news?
Yeah. So I've been trying to get to a Griz game this year. I try to go to one every year. And so my awesome, amazing wife has been like, oh, you should just go. And it's like, I don't know. It's hard with work and finances and stuff, going from Sheridan all the way to Missoula. So she's been talking to my my best friend up in Helena area, and they've planned it all out. And we're going to surprise me for a early Christmas present. My wife actually called my boss and kind of got it.
I love it. That's awesome.
Because I usually on Fridays we have like work days, and she's like, oh, he's going to have that day off. And so yeah, I'm going to Griz Cat. Sorry.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's awesome.
So yeah,
we're both going to be there.
We are.
That's where we're like, holy shit, yeah, we're both going to be at that game. So
yep.
Yeah. Super.
So anybody that has a good tailgate, let us know.
Yeah, we got a few that I've already got lined up that we're gonna have to stop by. But yeah, if any of y'all want us to stop by your tailgate, we'd love to chat football with you.
Exactly.
And, man, I am just jacked to come back to Missoula and go to that game. I'm so pumped that you got. When you told me that, I was just over the moon, man. I was super excited that you get to go to that game too.
Oh man, I first I didn't believe her. I was like, yeah, whatever. She's like, seriously, call your friend. I'm like, what? Like, no, this isn't happening. You're just pulling my leg. And she's like, no, seriously, here's the text messages. And I'm like,
that's awesome. So cool.
So yeah. Cool. So I will be up there. But yeah, like you guys said, make sure that you guys get a hold of us. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. That helps us out tremendously. Give us those 5 stars and give us a review. Most of you watch us on Apple as well. So do that for us. And like always, we'll check you on the other side and go Griz.
Heck yeah, go Griz.